It's interesting how turning the baseball cap backwards gives you a new look.
No, it's not a baseball cap.
Oh, it's not? What is it? Oh, it's one of those caps. Oh, what do you call that?
I don't know. A cap?
Joe Reichel is in the studio. He's here, of course, to help you out. If you have something damaged and you're trying to fix it yourself, he can give you some advice on how to do that, or perhaps recommends a professional folks who can help you out. And the number right now to call Joe is 622-9622. We'll give you the number all the rest of the week after a little bit. How you doing?
Wonderful.
So somebody said something to me I wanted to repeat to you.
I'm ready.
I don't really have a flood, so I don't really need to call a professional. I just have a leak. And all it has done is rotted the wood underneath the sink. So I don't know to the extent because I don't really know the person.
Well, that's definitely need to get it fixed. Depending how much damage is there, something like that could have created mold under the sink, and this is something that a lot of homeowners don't even know that they have. We've been in some very nice homes that have. They decide, hey, we want to do a kitchen remodel, and we're tearing apart the cabinets. Behind the cabinets, it's mold everywhere because of
really,
a leaking faucet that has dripped down, and the evidence is the cabinet. Typically the bottom of the cabinet will be.
I can easily picture that because I've seen that many times.
You open the door and you see it's all sunken in and whatnot. So,
or the doors don't close correctly.
Yes, that's another telltale sign. So, we've taken these apart, and there's mold.
And they fall apart. You can't fix them sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's cabinets.
So, and it might be something small. You might just need someone to put and here's the case. Sometimes a new bottom can be put in the cabinet if it's not that much damage, or it could be rather extensive where you need a complete new cabinet. And if that's the case, the top has to sink needs to be detached.
Right.
The top has to come off. So everything, all the plumbing's taken apart. Top comes off. New cabinets go in. Then if the top can be reused, we can do that and put everything back. So it really depends on the extent of damage.
Yeah. Well, and see, I think she was thinking in terms of the word flood because she said it's not really a flood.
And that's where I've had homeowners that say, hey, I
don't really have a flood.
And they automatically think that a flood is when rain. Lots of rain, and all of a sudden, the exterior, coming from outside in, you have a flood.
Yeah.
Floods can also happen where your water heater, inside your house floods. Where anytime there's water in a home, that's considered a flood. So pipes break, or something happens.
Or just damage. I mean, there's damage, especially if it's like, what do you call it, particle board? What do you call that wood that kind of deteriorates?
Like a press board.
It goes away real quick.
Or particle board, yeah.
So. What do you do? I mean, to prevent that,
well, you really need to keep water away from it.
Just keep it dry.
Yeah, I mean that's the number one thing there.
Wow, and nobody hardly ever thinks, I guess, to actually go look to see is there a tiny drip somewhere behind the sink, or even condensation. I would think would do it.
Well,
wouldn't it?
and here again, a lot of times, and I had a homeowner this past week call me. And they've got, she was describing to me a situation where the tub, the walls for the tub and shower are leaking and water's getting in behind the wall.
Oh, wow.
And they've tried numerous times to fix it, and now she has a musty smell that's coming from there because it continues to leak, and they need to do a shower a bathtub shower remodel is basically what it would be called, where we take it all apart, dry it out, fix it, and put a new tub or new shower in there, and new tile walls or whatever finishing she wants. But
looking at you straight on now, you look like a doctor with that. It's like the doctor
little cap, doctor's cap.
Yeah.
I just need to get my stethoscope.
Need the mask.
A mask. Yeah. Mask, yeah. A mask. I need a mask. Hello.
Well, anyways, I just thought I would pass it on to you. She won a prize here, and she called me up to ask me if it was still here, because I guess we have a 7-day or something. And then she brought up your show. She likes listening to your show, and so hopefully she's listening right now, and she's got a few tips. I don't know.
Awesome. Well, I mean, it really depends what the situation is. I mean, we've get calls. One call today that I just got this morning was a lady. She has a rotten door, and I'm going out there this afternoon to take a look at it.
Door.
Well, the door frame is rotten.
Okay.
The wood's rotten, and someone told her that she needs to get a new door. So, really, I got to go take a look at it and see what.
What do you do when a door is stuck or sticking? And in the old days, my dad would take a wood plane and kind of shave it down or something. Is that still the way you would do it?
First and foremost, you need to find out why it's sticking. So, is it if it's a wood door? It could just be the weather, and that's caused it to swell. Moisture in the air will cause a door to swell. If it is, and sometimes, common in our area, we have the sinkholes or settling, and since the ground is always moving, so a door could not shut because of that. So, is there settling issue?
Right.
Is that's causing it? It could also be that the screws have come loose in the hinges, and it's
not lined up anymore.
Not lined up, and that will, if the hinges are loose, it's allowed it to drop or sag, and it will stick that way.
Yeah.
So, really, it's first and foremost, you need to figure out what's causing it, and then you attack when you know what's causing it, you know the best way to fix it. If it's a wood door and it's just a matter of sanding it down, or a wood plane, and I mean, we've had some where you've had to cut the door in order to get it to work. So. It really depends.
Just little fixes.
Well, and sometimes if the screws and the hinges have come out, or just loosened up, it's a matter of putting longer screws in. If it's a wood frame wall, and you can suck that up a little tighter.
Right. What about wallpaper coming off because of humidity, moisture? Maybe it's not coming completely off, but it's like curling or on the edges.
Wallpaper is one of those.
Quick fix for that?
Well, there is wallpaper repairs that you can do, and there's glue that you can stick by at any of the hardware stores. You can get wallpaper glue and just do it like they have a repair kit. I think you can get. Typically, though, whenever I've seen homeowners use a piece of tape and stick over that. That's not really a good.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not a long-term fix.
No.
So,
especially if it's moisture causing it.
Yes, your best bet is to get some of that glue, and sometimes either you have to inject it with a syringe in order to get something small behind there to fill it all in, and then make sure that you wash it all down. Use a sponge with water in order to clean that area up. So it really depends on the extent of damage. You may even be better off just to take that wall covering off and
just do it all over again
and put something new on.
Yeah, a lot of times that's the best answer. The phone lines are open if you want to call Joe with a question of your own. The number is 622-9622. Joe, of course, is from Damage Control Services, Disaster Restoration, your one-stop solution for damage recovery services.
Yeah.
I saw you the other day in your vehicle, but I couldn't catch up to you because you were way up ahead. And I said, I'm not a fast driver. So there's Joe.
Me neither.
You were that day. That day you were.
I jet around a lot. But my vehicle is in the shop now.
Is it?
Yeah, it's in the garage. Transmission went on Saturday.
No. Well, you were driving too fast.
Yeah. That's that racing. It's a Mazda. Zoom, zoom.
All right, we'll take a little break and we'll be right back. If you want to call, you can do it right now. You'll be on hold, and we'll be back in 2.5 minutes. You're listening to The Source. Hold on, I got to set it up here. The Source, WOCA Ocala.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Clouds and sun this afternoon, couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 88 to 92. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 70 to 72. Tomorrow, times of sun and clouds, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm beginning in the late morning, high 85 to 90. And then tomorrow night, it'll be partly cloudy, low 68 to 73. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Steve Williams.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy. never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779. Come join New Male Medical, the experts in men's sexual health, and celebrate the opening of their newest location in the Villages this Friday from 11 to 1 at 8640 County Road 466. That's at the Santa Fe crossing on 466 going towards Rolling Acres. There will be free food and refreshments for all in attendance. Spend some time touring the facilities, and men get a free testosterone screening. For more information, call 404-4779. That's 404-4779.
Loco Graphics would like to invite you to their second location on 200 next to Sonny's Barbecue. They are officially open to help you out with all your sign, vehicle wraps, and printing needs. Visit them and mention this ad for free business cards. Need a logo? We've got you covered. From business cards all the way to menus and flyers. Now 2 locations to better serve you. On Merricamp, half a mile east from Forest High School, and on 200 by Sonny's Barbecue. Loco Graphics, impacting your customers. Like us on Facebook.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Locally owned and operated since 1957. We are The Source, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM.
All right, 12 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you. Joe Reichel is here from Damage Control Services. So we've been talking kind of a little bit about the smaller things that need repairs. And
I've got a big one, though.
What is it? What are you doing?
Okay, so we got called in to do some demolition yesterday. A lady has some termite damage and not sure the extent of it, and we went in to do some demolition for her and ended up taking out multiple walls because the termites have eaten the exterior walls of her home, everything.
Oh, wow.
So it's a pretty extensive job. Now we have to get an engineer to come in and tell us the best way to fix it, because all of the support headers over the windows, everything is just, I mean, you can just grab it with your hand and pull the studs out.
That's not good.
No, they're just like mush.
Wow. And it went unnoticed, I'm guessing, for a long time.
Well, yes.
Or am I wrong about that? I mean, can termites do damage quickly?
Well, they can work rather speedily. However, a situation like that, it's evident that the damage were hello. So the damage to the home would have been evident somewhere. The amount of damage that's
you would think.
there.
You would
yes.
think.
How it went left that long, it's hard to say, but.
So if you see what looks like a flying ant, is that pretty much evidence that you've got termites? Have you ever heard that before?
That could be just an ant. It doesn't necessarily mean it's termites. So.
Okay.
Termites are underground. They do swarm like that, though.
But you don't see them ever?
Yeah, you
can. Or
can.
sometimes you do see them.
Oh, yeah. And, a lot of times a termite will leave a trail outside on the drywall. So there's, you're going to see evidence.
Oh, they leave telltale signs?
Yes.
So how long will that... And I'm guessing, does insurance automatically cover that? No. So you have to have termite insurance?
You have to have, and that's something that you get with your pest control company whenever they're, treating it. Sometimes you can get a policy through them to guarantee that you won't get termites. So it's something that's, that's individual companies vary.
Oh,
so,
really? So
yeah.
your homeowner's insurance does not cover termite damage? Wow.
No.
It's good to know that, right?
Yeah.
All right, we do have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Hey, good morning, Joe. Good morning, Larry.
Hey.
Good morning, Joe.
Hey, Joe, somebody shared a video with me recently of a process called poly level. And if you ever used the canned foam, it's called Great Stuff to do insulation around windows when you're changing
Yes.
windows. This is what they use, and they literally raise concrete and foundation 3 or 4 inches by pumping it in under the concrete.
And it will help to bring up to level the concrete?
Yes, it will. In fact, Larry has access to that video that I shared, and obviously you're not aware of it. I was unaware of it, but it's fascinating to watch how it works.
How do I have access on your Facebook?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me go there. All right.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you
All right,
for the
thank
call.
you.
I have heard of this, and some companies or some people have talked about it, but I have not seen it personally. I have heard about it, and what they will do if a slab has sunken in an area or something happens where settling and sidewalks, situations like that, they'll put this stuff under there and it will bring it back up. So I'm not really sure how it works.
That's a pretty cool idea, though. Somebody came up
You
with
can
a really
inject it and it'll bring it back up.
yeah.
It's a pretty neat product.
You want to use my microphone and you can explain to the listeners what you're looking at, because I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Here, just come over here and use this microphone and then I'll start the video. Ready? Okay. So what do you say?
Okay, so pretty much what they do is they drill a hole in the concrete and it fills up the porises underneath the concrete and will bring it back up to whatever level, the desired level. So in an area where the slab may have dropped down because of water erosion or whatnot, it will bring it back up. So they use a gun, like a gun type apparatus, and they will drill a hole in the concrete and fill up an area. So once it's drilled, they put these tubes in there and then inject it. So it's a pretty neat product. I've heard about it, and companies have used it, but I don't know if there's anyone using it here. I don't really know about that. So, yep, they're bringing up the slab up to the original level. So, and then you just whatever is left, you just cut it away, and there you have it. So the picture they're showing now is a sidewalk that has sunken 3.5 inches. It looked like.
Wow.
And now they're slowly bringing it back up to the existing level that it was. That area that they're fixing now looked like it was, more like a foot difference.
It looked huge, yeah.
So, it's a very neat product. It's called Poly Level. So if you wanted to look at those videos, this that they're bringing it up looked like 6 inches there. So, and then all they do they take the injection area, the port that they put in, they take it back out, and you put a little bit of concrete patch over the hole, and you're good to go. So if a sidewalk has sunken, and you can bring it back up. It's a really neat product.
Wow, that's a cool idea. I will ask Robin to share it on the WOCA Facebook page so everybody can look at that video. Thank you, Joe Niles, for sending that, and Joe Reichel for narrating it, helping us understand it better.
Joe Niles, an all-around good guy.
It really is. He really is. And it looks like, to me, I would get a professional to do that. That doesn't look like something I would do myself.
No, that's not a
drilling through concrete.
homeowner project there, and they go in. They have all the stuff and access to the product, and can come in, take care of it, and clean it up. And I'm not sure of any companies here that do it. Although I do know spray foam insulation people, and so they probably be the same.
They would be
type
the guys
of,
doing it then.
They would probably have access to that, I would guess.
Okay, and you have a phone call, Joe. Let's go to the phone. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for waiting, by the way.
Yeah, hi guys. Joe, this is you calling. See, up north, I had a good friend that was in that business. It was called mudjacking, and it was a very, very popular thing to have done. They drill a hole and they force that stuff in there, and like you say, they little concrete to cover the hole up when they're done. And I've watched it done several times. I've gone with them, and it's interesting how all of a sudden that piece of concrete or driveway or sidewalk, it just comes right up to where it's supposed to be, and it lasts for a long time. And it's quite a very successful method of taking care of that problem.
Right, and that's what happens a lot of times. Erosion or whatever will take away the material that's holding up, the dirt or the whatever's, I guess it's dirt, everything that's under there, the lime rock, whatever. Yeah. And water will erode that, and this fills that void so that it'll bring it back up to level.
Yeah, a lot of a common problem area for that would be a driveway alongside your house, right next to the house where it kind of settles down, where the basement wall would be,
Yes.
And he had a lot of work in that part of the area for that. But it was called mudjacking, and it was a wonderful thing, and it wasn't all that expensive to have done, and it was very successful.
And there's a whole safety side of what we're talking about here. If somebody is coming to your house and they trip and fall on your property, it's your homeowner's insurance that you're liable for them.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people when I'm thinking back now, a lot of people would have his service come, and where the driveway met the house, they would have it actually lifted up so it would direct the water away from the building, to avoid future problems.
Yeah.
Wow, it's an amazing thing. I never even knew any of this stuff. All right, thank you, Hugh. Appreciate that. So the only question I would have, looking at that, and I'm guessing the answer is it's fine, but it looks like if it was under a driveway, for example, where you're going to have heavy vehicles on it, it looks like the vehicles would put pressure on that foam and cause it to go back down.
Well, that foam hardens.
It's not as soft as it looks, huh?
No, it's not a marshmallow. It will harden in place and
really?
Fills that void, so it's not going to.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's not going to be squishy.
That was pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah, I saw that a while ago, so I'm glad Joe brought that up. That's a great product. But unfortunately, I don't know any companies here that do it. So that would be something that if you did watch that video, look on. You can probably Google local companies and go from there.
And somebody like yourself or the guys at Damage Control probably could do it, yourselves. But I would think if it was a large...
We don't have the equipment for that, so...
Really? It's like if it was a small piece of a patio, like one square of a sidewalk or something. I might give it a shot because I'm not going to hurt anybody. But a whole driveway like they showed, that looks pretty intense.
Well, and unless you have the product and you can...
You'd have to
put it in there.
Put it in there evenly too.
Well, it'll fill the way that stuff works. That foam insulation, it fills all the voids. So, and you have to be careful if you put too much in. Sometimes, like the window, like around windows, for example, it will push that window frame. So.
Oh, really?
It can.
Oh,
so.
Wow.
Or a door jamb, something like that. So
I used it one time. I used that stuff one time. It was, I think I told you the story. My mother's thermostat wasn't going off because it kept getting the wrong temperature. It was getting the outside temperature, not the inside temperature. And the way I sealed it off was I could see there was a gap in the wall. And it was getting the outside air affecting the thermostat. And I just it was like very cheap stuff.
It's not expensive.
It's like $1.
$2.
Yeah.
Couple dollars for a can of it, and it works really good. If you're going to use this to seal around doors, put gloves on. Do not get it on your skin because it will stick to you. So, rubber gloves.
Oh, wow, yeah, that sounds good.
Any other time you need help or have a question or concern, call me, 352-817-6574. That's my direct line. Or you can email me, joe@damageflorida.com.
Good show.
Great show.
Some stuff we never talked about before. All right, we will be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. The government reportedly looking at possible criminal charges against General Motors over its failure to recall vehicles with faulty ignition switches, even though it knew about the issue for over a decade. GM CEO Mary Barra.
We're going to continue to cooperate to the fullest extent that we can, but beyond that, I think anything else is pure speculation, and it does no one any good.
Her comment at the annual meeting, the problem blamed for more than 100 deaths. The manhunt continues for two killers who escaped from an upper New York State prison over the weekend amid reports they may have been seen.
The men emerged carrying what